Welcome everyone to this presentation and to the fantastic school community that is Engadine West Public School. My name is Liz and I'm the school counsellor at Engadine West. My role is varied and includes assessment for a range of purposes, individual and group support for students, and providing a psychological perspective to teams and the school in order to support student wellbeing and learning. If you have any concerns regarding your child or if concerns arise, the best person to speak to is your child's teacher. However, I look forward to eventually meeting many of you in person, and there are some of you that I have already worked collaboratively with. Today, I have a brief presentation containing information and tips to support your child's transition to big school. This presentation is based on a number of resources, and the references are included on the last slide if you'd like to read any further. Let's start with the brain. Over the last 30 years, technology like MRI machines has allowed researchers to learn a great deal about children's brains. There is strong evidence that children's brains are different to those of adults, and that what we do as parents and carers affects what happens in the brain at that moment, as well as how the brain develops over time. To use our thinking brain, our cortex, we need to be calm. So helping children manage their emotions is really important for their current well-being and for their future well-being. When children's emotional brain becomes overwhelmed, it takes control and reacts to the big emotions they are processing, and they lose the ability to self-regulate their behaviour. And that's when we need to help. What do we do when children's emotional or survival brain takes over? We emotion coach. So you can see on the slides, we tune in, connect, give vocabulary to emotions, saying things like, it seems like you're really annoyed, nervous, excited, upset that this is happening. Am I right? Are there any other words to describe how you're feeling? And do this often. Also validating. Yeah, I'd be upset if that happened to me too. That must have been frustrating. I feel like that too sometimes. It can be really tempting to jump straight into problem solving, but it's really important to stay with the tuning in, connecting, validating, and keep digging, as I say, until the child feels heard. So asking questions like, is there anything else about this situation that was hard for you? You might notice a physical change when you do that they seem a bit more calm. Or you might give them an option. Now, is there anything else that we can do that might help you feel a bit better? Do you want to go and have a drink? Do you want to lay on your bed? Do you want to pat the dog? Do you want to go for a walk around the block with me? Once the child is calm, then that's when we can help them brainstorm better ways to respond. So talk to them about what are a few different options that we could do next time and help them evaluate what might work best. It is good to set limits too, so to let them know that, all feelings are valid, but some behaviours are not. And developmental level is really important. Some other hints on this slide is to catch emotions early, notice triggering situations and distract or give prompts or options for self-soothing or problem solving before they escalate. It's also really important to teach that emotions are normal and helpful. Quite often when I talk to students, I use the example of the saber-toothed tiger or a snake, that if we didn't have fear, we would get eaten or bitten. The problem we have sometimes is that sometimes we can't turn off our emotions, or our emotions are out of proportion to what's happening or might impact negatively on our functioning, and that's when we need to do maybe some more intensive things with emotions. Also, it's really good to explicitly teach about resilience and give examples. So teaching that failure and rejection are not the end of the world, that children can handle stress and difficult feelings, acknowledge feelings when they're having difficulty or failure, but let them experience it so they can learn that they are okay when that happens. Admit your own mistakes and feelings, model and use your own examples, and also connect self-worth to effort. To support your child's learning, we can also look at the brain. We know that different parts of the brain are the focus of activity at different ages. So at ages 2 to 8, The limbic system, or the emotion centre, is at centre stage in the brain. Ages 7 to 27, the frontal cortex, which is the thinking centre, is centre stage. So up to age 7, it is most important to focus on social emotional learning. So play and fun. So help your children explore their interests, get them to look at books that they enjoy and play games with them. It's also really important to remember that kids are individual and different to each other. And some of those differences are individual, like personality differences, and there are also group factors. So there's some interesting research that shows that children who are second born and boys will often show interest in literacy at age 7. So if we know that that is within the typical range and is normal, then we can encourage these children in a way that works for them. So encouraging their interests and their strengths. And the last point on this slide actually relates to the fact that research has shown that what children think of themselves as learners has been shown to have a more significant impact on their educational and vocational success than factors like what they can do when they start school, or their developmental milestones, or even their ability. So the most important job for people raising or working with a 2 to 8-year-old is to develop a positive disposition to learning. So how clever the child feels is most important. And we can do things like give them feedback such as, you're getting better at that. Wow, how did you work that part out? And that will help them to be successful learners and resilient humans in the future. There is also a large body of research into resilience and risk factors, where resilience factors increase well-being. So some of the resilience factors that have been identified are high quality relationships, also teaching kids about self-control. So self-control is where kids do something that is helpful for them, but they might not actually have to do it. So things like making their bed. Also, a regular bedtime is really important. Remove devices an hour before bed as well. And turn off standby lights, make the room dark. There are benefits to yoga, even when kids are not buying into its benefits. Box breathing is great for kids and for adults. So you breathe in for 2 seconds, hold for 2 seconds, breathe out for 2 seconds. With box breathing, the children do need to be interested though. Also, activities to calm the brainstem are things that are not associated with threat. So things like singing, laughter, exercise, and playing a musical instrument before age 7 has also been shown to be helpful. These are the references that I mentioned earlier if you'd like to read any further. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to your child starting here at Engadine West.